Too harsh. Meghan was interrogated by the royal family for racist slander in front of the Queen's coffin. Hello friends, welcome to the hottest news of the day about the world's most hated hypocrite, Meghan Markle, on our Kate Middleton and the Queen News version 2 channel. So this story begins more than a year ago, when Meghan made the claim that the royal family was racist and made up all of those stories. For more than a year now, the royal family hasn't had a chance to come face to face with her. So when Meghan Markle was standing right in front of the Queen's coffin, the British royal family took the opportunity to expose the crimes that made her unable to look them in the eye. The royal family has made some very good arguments in defense of the honor of the British monarchy. They said a racist father-in-law wouldn't have assumed the role of father and walked her down the aisle when he didn't have to. She could have easily asked her mother to do that. It would have made a strong feminist statement. But no, she wanted a spectacle. Prince Charles, now King Charles III, spent millions on her wedding and clothes. She ran more bills than any other senior royal, despite lesser working days. The minute he said no, suddenly he became a racist. They asked Meghan to make peace with her father, and they asked Harry to meet and sort things out with her dad. And somehow that makes them racist? Seriously? If they were really so racist, they wouldn't have involved Meghan in their group at all. Once upon a time, the two couples were known as the Fab Four. Meghan was offered an amazing platform to make a real difference in the world. But she ruined everything because she thought that marrying a prince just equaled luxury. So they informed her that she could go back to her acting career, but she said that she wanted to hit the ground running. She said that she wanted to be a senior royal, and she loved having all those titles. So they complied, and they asked her to do her job. But that's when Meghan realized that, oh yeah, the job part she's not a big fan of. Meghan doesn't like to work. And then all of a sudden, she accused the family of being racist. Catherine, Princess of Wales, had just given birth, but still she made time for Meghan. And how did Meghan repay her kindness? Well, she bullied this woman's daughter as well as her aides. But Catherine put up with her. The very minute that Catherine told her no, she was accused of being racist. And the thing about marriage is that it's not always easy. Marriage requires a lot of hard work. It's not always perfect, and it's not always smooth sailing. There are going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be differences in opinion. People will like different things. People will have arguments. It's going to happen. So Meghan should have understood just how difficult it is to work out marriage because she has a lot of experience with that. And she's seen her marriages fail time and time again. But no, she didn't try to sort things out and just wait for things to settle down. She didn't give herself time to get adjusted to the new environment. Instead, she decided she was going to run away and then accuse a whole family and a whole country at that of being racist. People have been waiting for an excuse to trash the royal family, now have a lot to go on. Who would do something like that to such a wonderful family? It's tragic that the royal family ended up with somebody like that in their midst. I do wish that Prince Harry had met somebody like Michelle Obama, for example, and married her. That woman has class and dignity. She is a true lady. But see, I don't think Michelle Obama likes Meghan either. They must also be racist. And in-laws can be problematic. It's just how it goes sometimes. On a personal note, I actually had such a difficult time with my in-laws that at some points I considered getting a divorce. But over time, things settled down, and we're all in a much better place now. If Meghan just had a little patience and actually tried to talk things out, this never would have happened. Meghan claims that she wants privacy, but everything she does is to thrust herself into the spotlight. She has told so many lies in interviews, and she's really gaslighting the royal family. See, Meghan is trying to use racism as a shield so that she can hide behind it, and from the safety of that shield, she can attack whoever she wants. How can she possibly explain the problems that she's had with her own father, her half-sister, her brother, and all of the friends who have seen right through her? How could she possibly explain her rejection of her mother's side of the family? She didn't invite the relatives on her mother's side, and they are black. Instead, she invited the rich, the famous, and the powerful, people who didn't even know her. Who does a thing like that? I guess she can't use racism in that excuse, can she? And if anyone in the royal family is racist, then it's Meghan. There was nothing to be offended over when somebody wondered about the skin color of her children, unless, of course, she thinks that having darker skin is bad beneath her. I actually have a much darker skin tone than my husband does. So when I was pregnant, family members did wonder who the child was going to end up looking like. I was not offended at all, of course not. And does Meghan really think that South African people should celebrate just because she married a rich white man? Honestly, do South African people hate their skin color so much that they believe it's a privilege to marry a white person? I'll tell you the truth, they don't. Even if some idiot were to put Meghan on the same level as Nelson Mandela, then she really should have stepped in and said, "Oh, I'm flattered, but no, I'm not even close to him." But that's not what she did. Instead, she talked about it in interviews. And she believes that Compton is beneath her. We can see that in her discussion about it with Serena Williams on the podcast. And there are many more examples to prove that Meghan is racist. And I guess she probably hates the black side of her family. But now that she sees it as an advantage, she's decided to embrace it. She's just lying and trying to gaslight the entire world. And her supporters, or her PR people rather, are using her to attack the royal family. They really go after anybody who dares to speak out against them. And to be honest, in the very beginning, I actually kind of liked Meghan. I was rooting for her. And actually, there were a couple of times that I watched that Suits show, mostly because I wanted to see Harvey Specter. But anyway, Meghan did have a role at one point as somebody's love interest, and whenever she was on the show, she played her role pretty well, and they were some pretty intense scenes. Meghan, I have to admit, did look good. Before I knew what she was like inside, I thought Meghan was a beautiful woman. Now, of course, I knew about Prince Harry, so when the news came out that Meghan and Harry were together, I thought, I think I've seen her in Suits. She is a pretty woman. And of course, I tuned in to see the wedding because it was just so beautiful. I mean, it was so grand. And then later, Meghan tried to say that the wedding was just a spectacle for the public. Now, clearly, Meghan turned out to be a big old disappointment, particularly for the people who supported her in the beginning. We were absolutely disgusted with the way that she acted. And I'm sure that her supporters are going to attack me as a racist just for saying that. Meghan's supporters and Meghan have said so many hateful things and so many things that are critical of the royal family. Some of Meghan's sugars were even calling for the death of Prince and Princess of Wales. There was actually a cartoon series that was made about them. And yes, I recognize that the world these days is pretty full of hate. But at least one person actually lost their job because he was critical of what Meghan said. And that alone should tell us a lot about who she is as a person. And we also cannot forget the employees who kept on quitting because they simply couldn't deal with Meghan's work standards. And we also cannot ignore that the results from the bullying investigation were suppressed. Something is really wrong here. I don't know how such an inauthentic, awful person got global recognition. And Meghan is not acting alone in this, not at all. See, all by herself, Meghan isn't so powerful. She was just an actress, she had no impact. I really think that Prince Harry is behind all of this, and he's just protecting Meghan. And I don't think that we should isolate her and criticize her only. Instead, we need to blame Prince Harry as well. He's the one who sold out his own family, telling Meghan whatever it was that he told her. So we need to hold him accountable. Harry is the one, at the end of the day, who is most responsible for the abuse of the royal family. Now, racism isn't an excuse, or maybe it's some kind of defense mechanism for all of their failures that they're simply not willing to accept. And in addition to the accusations related to racism, Meghan was also accused of lying in a multitude of other ways. One insider said, "It's hard to say as she has damaged her credibility by telling outright lies. For instance, the argument between her and Kate was more of a mutual thing and she blamed Kate. There are journalists in my country who have stated that they have contact with royal insiders, and Meghan has lied about this issue. She was better off just saying there were some petty arguments that were mutual and not a big deal." And obviously, she was lying when she said that she never Googled Harry at any point in time after she met him, that she didn't know anything about his mother, royal life, etc. This is ridiculous. Of course she was going to research what she was about to get herself into. Now, an old friend of hers has said that before she met Harry, Meghan had one of Princess Diana's books on her bookshelf. And Meghan also had some British friends who naturally would have warned her about what she can expect if she was going to get involved with Harry. They would have warned her about royal protocol and the media frenzy that might happen. So Meghan really would have been a lot better off if she had just admitted that she knew what to expect being with a royal, but that she didn't understand that she wouldn't be able to deal with it all. And another really suspicious thing is that Meghan had her stuff in storage in Toronto and she never had her things shipped to the UK. Once on Vancouver Island, after renouncing royal duties, she had her things shipped to her. So this tells us that all along her plan was to walk away from the UK and to renounce royal duties, and that's why she left her belongings there so they'd be ready for her when she came back. Now she's trying to claim racism, but she has treated royal staff horribly and she caused several people to quit. Her treatment of others is absolutely appalling. And when she was dating Harry, she was actually still in a relationship with her Canadian chef boyfriend, and she didn't break up with him until she'd been seeing Harry for a couple of months. And then the way that Meghan left her first husband, sending him the rings back in an envelope. I mean, it was so unnecessarily cold and cruel, and that poor man hadn't even done anything wrong. So what do you think of Meghan Markle's crimes? Please let us know your thoughts below in the comments section. We hope you have found this video helpful. And don't forget to leave us a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back to see you all in the next videos. Bye-bye now.